Hello and welcome to day 3 of the Leadership and Emotional Resilience Workshop, the Heart Method. So I'm so grateful to serve you in this workshop. I just wanted to extend my gratitude to you today. If you are just coming in now live, I am Dr. Vidya. I am a full-time medical doctor, mum, wife, daughter, sister. Those roles are equally as important, more important, and I'm committed to those. But I'm also a leadership coach and for emotional resilience as well. So I'm founder and CEO of Athena Publishing House. I'm a #1 bestselling author in leadership and emotional resilience, and also of the Global Leadership Academy. So welcome. Now, this is day 3 of the workshop. So if you haven't watched day 1 and day 2, you might want to head over there. You can either watch that, it's on my Facebook profile at the moment, that might be taken down later, or in our free community, which is called Wealthy Warriors. Just so you know, I do these workshops regularly. And if you do, always register with your email. I urge you to, because although you may be watching this somewhere else, you will always get the replay sent to you. And you'll always be told about upcoming workshops as well. So you're just kept in the loop because I all know we're all busy. So what I've been doing is, if you watch day 1 and day 2, essentially I gave an overview of my heart method, which is my own IP, my own development, specifically within leadership of your career and or business, of your family, and of yourself. Okay, and that is also leading from within, which is through the lens of spirituality and science, and in particular, emotional resilience, emotional regulation, and your well-being. All right. So this is something I'm so passionate about, emotional resilience. And as an appraiser for my doctors, I've often come across very burnt out doctors, incredible leaders doing incredible things, but getting burnt out. Maybe they're caught in the system with bullying. They might be in high leadership positions in Fortune 500 companies and experiencing serious issues at home, right, in their family. They may be trying to set up their own thing. So really, this comes down to leadership and ultimately leading from within. And your leadership of your team has to be in alignment with the leadership of yourself, as well as leadership of your family, or co-leadership of your family, obviously with your beautiful life partner, right? So we really want to lean into a framework of exactly how to do that, and that is my heart method. Okay, so we have our healing and harnessing, our grounding energy, and really healing and releasing. That is a key thing that I think is often missed out in many personal development and manifestation programs. So it's so key, healing. And then we have the emotional regulation piece and empowerment. And for me, entrepreneurship, which I love. I think entrepreneurship is the best personal development program in the world. Really teaches you every single aspect of yourself, really. So what I love with that is, just as your personal and leadership growth can be limitless, in entrepreneurship, your influence, your impact, and therefore your income is also limitless as well, which means you can then share more, you can help more people, you can scale more, not just for income, but in your impact, right? And also to do this from a place of balance, really do this from a place of calmness of mind and body and soul, to do this with conviction, and to do this with courage, right? It takes courage to really, I'm being courageous right now with sharing my own IP. It takes vulnerability. It takes willing to be, sometimes ridiculed, but it takes that inner deep, not just belief, but inner knowing in yourself that is unshakable, completely unwavering, regardless of no matter what is going on, because for you know that it is part of your calling. Okay, it is part of your calling. And for me, this work I do here is my ultimate service. It's an arm of what I do as a doctor as well. That is one way, in one very kind of systematized way of doing things. And here I've created my own system, another way of serving, and of course more globally as well. So they're both important to me. So I really want us to lean in today into this piece of the heart method, which is alignment and awakening the warrior within. Okay, so I've just got my notes here for my core teaching. So with this, I really want to focus on the alignment. So we talked before about how this is really very much about how in days 1 and 2 we talked about what kind of a leader do you want to be, what are those thoughts, what are those belief systems that you do have, and maybe what you don't have, what you've had to heal and release, and what you've got to let go because that's not coming along with you, on this journey, right? Imagine you're flying first class, okay, you're making your quantum leap to your premium leadership, which is actually within you right here right now. Okay, this is a self-realization journey, and then it is a self-actualization journey when you then take the aligned action, right? But this is a calling, and we really talked about that version of yourself, okay? And it's different conversations that you're having with yourself, with others, different things you're reading, different programs you are studying in, different levels of mentorship, different pieces, different level of capacity, emotionally, physically, spiritually, right? And it takes a different level of faith in yourself, in maybe even in studying your faith, whatever way that resonates with you. Okay, so I really want us to focus on how now you got to align yourself to what, right? You got to align yourself. It's not just about alignment, it's alignment to what, right? You got to anchor yourself to that highest version of yourself that you are able to see right now. If you can see it, right, if you've been given the vision, you will be given the provision for your vision. Okay, you will be. But that's what trust and faith means, right? Is that you have to believe. You have to believe, and then you get that feeling of the inner knowingness. Okay, so I want you to imagine that there are different levels, like different lines on a piece of paper, different levels of frequency. Okay, and these I like to see as these are different levels of ourself, right? We have our higher self, our lower self, both within us right here, right now. But I'm not saying you're on a low, you are low now. You've obviously, if you're here, you've done a lot of inner work, right? You have done a lot of inner work, maybe therapy, you've done coaching, and I'm talking like, big masterminds, you've done a lot of work. So what the point of this is going to that premium level, and that ultimate level of service that you are providing, okay, that you will also receive, right, with me if you choose to work with me, that you are elevating in the embodiment of that version of you who provides that award-winning service, right? So what is that version of you? Okay, and sometimes it isn't all bells and whistles, that's all beautiful, but it is the core substance within, it is the character within. Okay, that is ultimately what matters. That is that deep connection that you will have with yourself and those that you are serving, whether that's your clients. You all have people who are under your care in some shape or form, right? Just like I do as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a doctor, as a number 1 best-selling author, as an award-winning coach, as an award-winning doctor. There are a number of different ways in which you serve, and you have if you've been called to it, I would say you have a responsibility to answer the call and to really take that to the highest level possible, but it must be done in a balanced way. Now, in days 1 and day 2, we really talked about how you are the captain of your ship, right? Co-captain of your family, if you have a beautiful partner in your life, but you are the captain of your ship, and you have precious cargo, which includes your fitness, right? I'm not saying, when I say precious, I don't mean it's fragile. I just mean like it's of incredible importance, right? So you have your family, you have your health, which is in the tree of life, the main tree trunk. So we need to keep that healthy in our mind, our body, our soul. We want to do our work in a values-driven way, right? And we want to be doing it to the highest level. But doing it to the highest level doesn't always mean actually doing more. It might actually mean doing less. It might even mean taking things down, really paring it down and making it more simple, and doing that more consistently, doing that thing at a higher level. Do you understand? So for example, there's no point doing, say, just giving an example through exercise, a workout for say 3 hours today, which I don't suggest you do. But doing a workout for say 3 hours today, and then you do nothing for a month. You're better off, right? You're almost better off really paring that down to say 15 minutes of strength training and going for a 15-minute walk. I mean, I would really like for you to get your 10,000 steps in, but at least if you do that and you do that every single day, and if you can even do that with, say, your kids whilst they're on their scooters, do that safely with helmets, or you're, walking hand in hand with your partner, that is balanced. That is beautiful. If you're doing that as you're walking to church or the temple, or you are just connecting on that beautiful spiritual level with your partner, or you're thinking about ideas for your program in your way, or what you're teaching that week in your program, or how you're going to show up to your next consultation with your patients, or however you're serving, that is balanced, right? So you still want to be able to elevate that 15 minutes to then the 30 minutes, and that's different. That's your capacity, that's your peak performance aspect, right, which is constantly elevating. But you want to be able to do it from a point of you want a core strong foundation. Okay, so what we want to do is constantly look at what is that highest level version of me. So for me, what is that Vidya doing? Like, how is she showing up in her service? How is she showing up in her workshops? How, so for me, when I run these workshops, you may have attended my workshops before, and I'm hoping that you can see that every time I'm doing my workshop, I've been doing this for many years now, from COVID, or 2018, I think I started. But every time I do this, hopefully you can see that it is up leveled in some shape or form. It might be in like this in a new platform I'm using. It might be in these new kind of little banners and things that you see here or there. It might be in some of these new kind of slides that I have. And by the way, I need to put this up here. So all of these things are new things. Now, these are a bit more bells and whistles, I like to call them. So it is the extra thing, the core content, which is me here, the core content of what I'm saying, and the energy behind it, and the character behind it, not just character in a play, but my values. You hopefully hope, and this is my goal, is that every single time I do this workshop, right, week on week, month on month, year on year, you should be seeing growth. You should be seeing a different Vidya now compared to the Vidya that showed up this time last year, right, or even last month. Okay, or even if I did a post, like last week, that is, we are here to grow. This is the school of life. Okay, so we are human beings, we are goal-seeking organisms, and there is nothing like having a big juicy goal with extreme gratitude for where you are right here, right now, because everything you have right now is what you once dreamed of in the past, right? The family, the marriage, the relationship, the career you have right now, the income, the level of impact and influence and income, the health you have right now, the family, or maybe taking your relationship to the next level, or maybe even eliminating certain relationships from your life, right? So be grateful for where you are right now. But what we want to now do is rise up. Okay, so the next piece of the heart method, which we're going to cover tomorrow, but is R. So that is reinvention. Okay, it is rising up, and it is really also releasing. You're constantly releasing any old patterns and old beliefs. This is just ongoing work. Okay, just it doesn't just stop. Okay, this is not like a quick fix thing, but it equally doesn't have to take a long time. Okay, and every time you keep doing this work, you'll find like the rebound, the reflex, the resilience. That's how you build resilience. It just gets quicker and quicker and quicker. Okay, so your time to reset is minutes, right? As opposed to before, when it may have taken me weeks, sometimes months, to reset from something emotionally, physically, maybe financially, spiritually, right? So it's now taking minutes because your level of awareness is so much higher. Okay, your level of awareness is higher. So I want you to imagine there's different levels, and your goal is on that level there. Okay, your goal is here. My old beautiful mentor Bob Proctor used to call it a type C goal. So this is the goal that you don't have the full plan for. You kind of have a plan. You're kind of a bit like, I'm a bit scared of this goal. It's a real stretch goal. Okay, a real stretch goal. Like that is a different version of you, and not just in the house you live in and the impact and the income, etc. But you are literally thinking different thoughts. Okay, so that version of you, which you're visualizing like a mini life movie every single day and night, ideally 3 times a day, you're visualizing that like a little mini movie. You are living that life right here, right now. Maybe right now I'm doing my workshop as that video. What is she talking about? Okay. And, when I'm going into my consultations with my patients, and focusing on what is the best service I can give in this 10-minute consultation, which is way above, way out, not it's within the guidelines. Obviously it's safe, but what I mean is, what is the extra level of service I can give? And I don't mean solving more problems as a GP in the 10 minutes. I mean that what is the depth of transformation? Okay, so this is an invitation for you to really reach out to what is the level of service you are giving to those that you serve, for deep transformation. Okay, so I want you to really think about the alignment piece, which is, it means being very deeply connected to your values, and they may change. Okay, so what is that level of version of you? You want to be aligned to that version of you, not this version of you, which is comfortable, right? It's comfortable. Even sometimes we don't want to do something, but we're like, well, it's comfortable, it feels good. So we got to almost get used to feeling a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because that is that version of you. You want to anchor to that. It's kind of almost like the opposite of an anchor for a ship, right? Instead of anchoring down, you're anchoring up, and you've got to stay there. That is leading. You're literally leading your family up to that high level version of you and your family life, of your life for your team, for your clients, for your patients. You are inspiring, you are educating, you are really bringing sometimes the belief to them that they maybe cannot see for themselves, right? But you are leading through example, not just in talking. But that's what I'm saying, is that I hope that you are seeing the embodiment of my own inner work, right? That I've been doing, the journaling I've been doing, and in my mastermind we do it, we do it together as well. That's the beauty, we study together and we do our inner work together. Now, awakening the warrior within is very much the peak performance aspect. It is courage, it is emotional resilience, because sometimes it takes courage, a lot of courage, to even do the work, to even have the belief of like, is there any point in me doing this journaling right now, because there's this huge other issue going on, and really I don't even have time to do this 15-minute journaling, so let me just get on with sorting this issue out. And that issue is actually very much on this level of the frequency. It's a this frequency, this level version of you problem. Actually, you do want to do the journaling, you do want to do the visualization. It doesn't have to take a long time. None of this has to be like hours and hours long, right? So it can be a quick thing, because this is to do with consciousness, right? So you can up level your consciousness to that level of frequency through journaling, through meditation, through reading your scriptures, through however, there are many different sort of divination tools, like whatever works for you, or in personal development tools, or inner work tools, or whatever aligns with you, right? For me, it's meditation, right? Like a quick 30-minute. I even tell my kids, if you're getting angry, you are on that level, and there's nothing wrong with being angry. It's a normal emotion. It's highlighting something for you. But then you need to, work on that issue that's being highlighted and get out of that emotion. So don't act in anger. Get out of that emotion. Get back to calmness. Get back to love, or at least peace, and then take action on whatever this is, needs to be healed or eliminated, or whatever the issue is. It needs to be growing through that in order to get to that higher aspect. Okay, so we really want to awaken that warrior within, because being a visionary, everyone says I want to be a visionary leader, I want to be a trailblazer, I'm an icon. Okay, so that means you have to lead from within. Okay, you can't just, it's really interesting. People say these words about, I want to be visionary, I want to be icon, but then they don't want to do the inner work. It's not just about, I'm gonna do all these workshops, and I'm gonna send 100 DMs every day, and I'm gonna hire this huge team, or I'm going to not hire that. It's not about the how, it's about the who. right? So the same three letters, but when you look at it from a different perspective, and it spells who. So who are you? You could be doing the same piece of action, but who are you when you're doing that action? That who needs to change. This version of you doing the same piece of action will get one set of results. As you do the inner work, which is really what the heart method is all about. Okay, and we go deep in this in my main offer, my main program, my main ultimate transformation service, which is the Wealthy Warrior Mastermind. Okay, and that includes the certification, it includes the memberships. It's year long. It's a hybrid of group coaching, of course material, but having one-to-ones, deep transformation with me, and an element of not done for you, but an element of me reviewing, your offers, your programs, your service. Really leaning deep and looking, having me in your back pocket to really helping you through the family leadership, the leadership in your career and business, as well as leadership in the staff, like what's coming up for you. And having that on a daily basis is super powerful. Okay. But this is the thing. So you have the mastermind, and you are really leaning into becoming the embodiment work behind being a visionary leader, a spiritual leader, an icon, right? Who is willing to go completely against the grain, completely in the opposite direction to what everyone else is doing. Takes courage. It takes awakening the warrior within. It takes belief from others in your vision when you are maybe even still building that belief in your own vision, right? So this is how I made my program award-winning, right? This is how I became an award-winning doctor, a TED speaker, #1 best-selling books. Like, it's not about attachment to these like titles and pieces of paper. It's just showing, I guess, an example of impact. And I want to take that to the level. I want 100x it. Okay. But there's an action element behind that, but that version of me is thinking different thoughts. Okay. So I want to highlight now the Resilient Leadership Academy. So what I've done with the mastermind is it's a 25K investment, is year long. Okay. And this is where you really have me in your back pocket. There are higher levels above that. That's more into going into my inner circle, which is 50K, and then my one-to-one, which is 250K. But really, my flagship program is a Wealthy Warrior Mastermind. And what I've done is that I have split that. So it's one program, but I've split it into different tiers, different levels of entry. Okay. And this is based upon, it's up to you. It's whatever you feel called to. It's different levels of experience. So the Resilient Leadership Academy, for example, is the very first tier. It's $99 per month at the moment. It was $39, was $49, was $59, now $99, and that it will be elevating as well as it increases in value. And the service I offer. And this is really, is very accessible. It's talking about your impact. And we deal also with all those three arms of leadership: self, career, and or business, and family leadership. And we really lean in also into the different life pillars. So health, wealth, your service, and your relationships with yourself and others. Okay. And we cover those different aspects. So you get a monthly new masterclass every single month. You get the course, which is a success path. When you pay in full, which is $999 per year, or $999 for the whole year, you will get lifetime access to the course. Okay. And in addition to that, every single month, you'll have your Q&A as well. All right. I do also hold paid workshops every single quarter and every month. So you will also have access. You'll get 2 free tickets when you pay for the annual option. So you get 2 free tickets. So I'm really excited to offer that to you. So come and join us in this first tier. That's why I really wanted to focus this workshop on this time on, was the Resilient Leadership Academy. So come and join us. Perhaps you are a premium leader, very advanced, and what some people do is they join the mastermind, and then they have their team join the Resilient Leadership Academy. So I have a lot of people do it that way. Their team is joining the Resilient Leadership Academy. So they still have my support. They still have expertise. We go through concepts such as conflict negotiation, team building, team management, and also talking about sales and marketing and creating your own coaching program, your own service, make it award winning, creating your own podcasts and books, etc. But really that mastermind level is where we also we have an actual speaking program called Warrior Voices. Okay, so really, I have people who come to me with just public speaking coaching, and we go deep into that. Getting your podcast and your YouTube channel up there. Have people on radio. I've had a doctor who's been on BBC, an interview and engagements because of this as well. And we also have a separate program which is Warrior Writers. Okay, and that is, I love that. Obviously, I'm a founder of a publishing house, so in that we get your book done. Right, you get your book done, #1 best-selling author, talk all about the marketing and that side of things. So we very much cover the how, okay? How to get your multi-6 or 7-figure coaching, consulting, service business, get it award-winning. Very much all the how is there, right? How to do a sales page, how to do all of these things. Very much for the online space as well as physical. So we do all of that, but this is really coming down to the warrior leader. Okay, the warrior leader, which includes certification. We're going to cover that in another workshop. But if you have any questions at all about any of my offers, just DM or send me or comment down below consult. And in that, we will actually be going through a little audit, which is just a couple of minutes long. I send you back my feedback via Voxel, email, or DMs, and we really have a conversation about any questions you have, where you're at right now, what's happening in your operating reality, in your health, in your wealth, in your service, in your relationships. It's all confidential. And I give you a 90-day plan. We go through a year-long plan as well. And then we talk about, which program would be the best fit for you. Or maybe you just got a couple of questions before you enroll. So either way, the sales link will be there for you to just jump right in. But if you have any questions, of course, just DM me the word consult and we'll get going. For those who are ready to take their leadership to the next tier, that is the Legacy Leader Accelerator. That is a deep dive workshop every single month. It's a 5K investment for the whole year. So just a 5K, you cover all of this and it also covers the publishing as well as Warrior Voices. Okay, so we go deep into that, and that is just a 5K investment. And with that, you have group coaching as well. Okay, so you have group coaching, and in addition to that, you also have a one-to-one private coaching day with me, which is followed by 2 weeks of Voxer support, just to really ensure that I am there for you to help you get all of your goals covered. Okay, so sending you so much love and light. I am really excited to welcome you in to our Resilient Leadership Academy membership. If you want to go to the next tier, and you want to have group coaching and a one-to-one with me, then that is the Legacy Leader Accelerator program. And I'm inviting you to really lean in now to transformation, move away from just consuming information, but actually now your transformation, and how are you going to be leading by example for your family, your team, your patients, your clients, those that you serve, taking your service to the next level of not only multi-6, 7-figure income, but actually of impact, of influence, and how this is how we are the change makers. This is how it happens. Okay, from really going within and changing, having somebody who's got your back, okay, to guide you and to show you. And I'm also doing it myself, right? Like I take you behind the scenes of exactly how I'm doing this for myself, and also in my family, in my programs. And we do this alongside each other. So if you want to jump straight in for the ultimate transformation, the mastermind, come on in, just DM me and we can talk through that. Or you can jump right in. All the links will be there down below for each one of the different tiers. But ultimately, for the ultimate leader, it is, of course, the Wealthy Warrior Leader Mastermind. But come and join in. Come and have a taste, with my service, with the Resilient Leadership Academy. Sending you so much love and light. My programs are award-winning for a reason. You can scroll through all my Facebook and social media and see I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this from 2018. I'm here for the active service of servant leadership, of serving with an abundant mindset, okay, and healthy boundaries, with faith, family, fitness first, and from a place of calmness of mind, body, soul, courage, and conviction in igniting your divine calling. Love and light. I've been Dr. Vidya. Take it easy.